again.
Tom and Kirsten, how you guys doing?
Great. You have a good weekend?
Good week. Good weekend, it's a Wednesday. But yeah, good weekend, good week.
I know, this is weird, because we had a podcast with Kristen Stout.
Yeah.
I mean, Kristen Simpson, sorry.
Yeah, I had a little technical difficulties the other day.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And then, which is fun.
Yeah, cool, it's understandable. You did a good job. You know, it was still a good podcast.
Man, we talked about 2 hours on that thing, and
She has a lot of knowledge, though.
that was a lot of knowledge.
I mean, especially coming from a female, you know what I mean? Like a female carp angler. You know, I mean, what I'm just saying, you know,
Right.
They don't get it. The females that that are out here fishing, they don't get enough credit, you know.
No, they don't, actually. There's a couple more carp anglers that, you know.
I think we should they should start like a woman tournament series here.
Yeah.
Like they do in North Carolina.
Oh, they got one?
Yeah, it's strictly women that come and fish.
Oh.
I don't know how many lakes they got, but they got a little circuit going down there and everything. It's pretty cool.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Huh.
So they acknowledge everybody, not just, the guys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got Rob Stout.
Yeah.
Getting the leads out.
Real quick, guys, out there on Facebook, please share this video to a couple other group pages, your pages, whatever. I mean, just let's get like a bigger audience get going. So share. Brings the ratings up, and brings more carp anglers, and just put on the show. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? So also. I also want to thank you guys. Ever since I ate that worm that one day, 2 podcasts ago, I got about 45 subscribers. So thank you.
45 new. So we need to come up with the plan. I'm thinking peanut butter minnows, you guys. What do you guys think?
Peanut butter and banana minnows.
Peanut butter minnows.
We should dress up like Elvis coming in here.
And eat peanut butter minnows?
Eat peanut butter and banana minnows.
I'll dress up like Elvis. Only if you eat the peanut butter minnow. Because I'm not eating no peanut butter minnow.
Oh my gosh.
What do you guys think?
That's
can
what
you guys
we're
even hear us? Can we get some thumbs up if you can hear us?
Yeah.
Likes, shares.
Love. Give me a heart.
We're talking to Rob Stout tonight too. I'm gonna have to give him a call here in a second.
Yeah. So, well, ready? What else?
How many of you guys out there watched Phil Lucas's bait demonstration video?
Oh yeah, he's got 2 videos out there. Check it out.
Yeah, go check them out on YouTube.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Yep. Say that again.
Yeah, subscribe.
Oh, okay. All right, you're getting it.
I've been practicing in front of the mirror all day. subscribe. No, subscribe, James. Subscribe. Okay. No. But let's get Rob on the horn. Let's get going.
Man, Ricky's been just killing it.
Ricky's awesome, man.
He has the perfect job. I mean, who wouldn't want to be at an Airbnb in Lake Sullivan? Lake Sullivan, right out back?
Uh-huh.
Catching 20s and he's got a 30.
Yeah. Good job, teammate Ricky.
Jimmy Sneed, where's he at? Del Hollow?
Jimmy Sneed. I'm going to Del Hollow this weekend.
Yeah. I know, man.
I am. Me and Dewan.
I wish I can go.
Oh gosh, I'm excited. Me and my son and Dewan. Yeah, we're all heading down to Del Hollow. Love it.
Can't hear good fellas. Minnows covered in mussels.
Candy.
Mussel flavors. Ooh, that'd be a nasty one.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Shot at barnyard. Ooh, that's.
Shout out about barnyard.
Yeah, it's like cow poop.
Yeah.
But it's a flavor. You'd be sick, James. You think that worm crawling around in your stomach was... Alright, let's give Rob a call.
Let's go ahead, Robbie. Good evening, Rob.
What's going on, Rob?
Welcome to our show.
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm down here in beautiful North Carolina. Inside Carp Talk.
Wow,
Yep.
nice.
You've already started fishing?
No. Lakes closed yesterday, today.
Yeah.
And I'll fish tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday, but Saturday's the big day, $1,000 entry tournament.
Yeah.
No kidding, $1,000 entry.
Yeah, man, it's a good tournament. Jack and them just went down there and did a big tournament.
Those guys don't play around, do they?
It's serious money.
Is that a team tournament or
No.
individual, huh?
Guys split sets.
Yeah.
Wow.
You get 4 rides, so 2 guys can pay, $500 a piece, and I get 2 rides, and you get 2 rides.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I can dig it. Sweet.
Makes it a little bit easier, a little bit more affordable to fish a bigger tournament like that.
So,
Yeah, and plus, Tommy, I know you've been down here. You know when the fish are on fire, it's hard to handle 4 rods.
Man, it really is.
Wow.
And that's a lot of places that you go to. It's not like our lakes,
Right. I mean, our lakes are great.
Yeah, I love our lakes, but they.
Whole different, you're talking 600-mile separation, so you have whole different weather patterns and everything. But our fish start really hammering a little later.
oh yeah, it's true.
They're a month ahead of us down here, even though they've had a rough spring.
Yeah.
But fish are starting to really pick up good.
So, hey, so real quick, Rob, welcome to our show. Rob Stout, he's he does a lot of pay lake and wild carping. He owns his own business, Get the Lead Out. He's also
Some of the best leads
Yeah.
around. People from all around the
Yeah.
world pretty much get their leads from Rob.
he's also sponsored by One On Baits, and he's also
He's also
a chairman, or what'd you say, chairman to, or what'd you say?
He's on the board,
The
for
board.
the Midwest Carp Masters.
West Carp Masters, yeah.
And if you want, Rob, you can elaborate on a little bit of that, maybe give your shout outs to your sponsors or whatnot too at the same time.
Great, yeah. I got to give a shout out to Joe and Mindy.
Yeah.
On Bait and RW.
Yes.
They take care of us. Joe is just, he's like the brother I never had. And
He's
He's a good guy.
yeah, he's just a great guy. All my teammates from One On and RW throughout the country, great guys, willing to help anybody. It's not just all about the dollar. And I think, some people have lost sight of that in fishing.
Yeah.
And, I get as much enjoyment out of seeing somebody catch a big fish than I do myself.
Yeah.
And I think if more people would look at it in that direction, money is paper and ink, it comes and goes,
Mm-hmm.
but memories last forever.
Amen. Amen.
And, I shout out to those guys, all the people I fish with. We're a great bunch of people, and we're like an extended family. But, I got to give a shout out to my family,
There you go.
especially, my son-in-law, Cody.
Mm-hmm.
He helps me out, pouring my bulk lead for me, getting it ready to go in the pot. My daughter, Kimberly, she helps out. My daughter, Christina, she works a lot. When she has time, she comes over and helps work trimming leads and everything like that. But, mainly my wife. Couldn't do it without her.
Heart so.
Could not do it without her. And she's my rock.
Yeah, she's a good woman.
There's always a good woman behind a strong man, though.
Exactly. That's what makes a strong
Yep,
man.
and I was about to say, that's what makes us a strong man, you know what I mean? Because it's definitely,
Yeah.
I've seen the difference in
Yeah,
my life.
all my customers, repeat customers, new customers, I can't thank you enough. This started out, I'll give you the story how I started doing leads. I was getting ready for one of my first wild water tournaments out of state in Baltimore, New York. And I was looking to purchase, all my end tackle, and I got on different websites and see the price of what leads are, and some of them with quality. And I thought, there's got to be a better way to do it and make it more convenient for the fishermen. So I started contacting some well-known lead makers in the UK.
Nice.
And some of them helped me out. Some give me ideas, dangle the bone in front of my face, more or less to say. And I had one gentleman over there in Great Britain who basically took me under his wing.
Nice.
And taught me how to do it the old school British way.
Yeah.
And that's the way I do my leads. And, I'm not perfect on every one.
Right.
A lot of people think I have a big boundary, and I do like some of the other named leads. I can dump out I do all mine from a 40-pound lead melting pot with a ladle. I hand pour them all. If I don't like the way the lead comes out, when I pour it, it goes right back in the pot and I start over again.
Well, there you go.
There's a knack to doing it. It's not just pouring hot lead into a mold. There's a knack to doing it, and it's taken me, I think, 7 years now to really learn the art. And I still have issues, once in a while I'll get some lead that may have a little more tin mixed in than I like. And I'll have to do some adjustments and add some stuff and that, but it's been a blessing. I mean, at times I want to sit down and pull my hair out because stuff's far behind on orders, but just know that, you don't get a quality product by running through a machine or something like that. So we're actually getting ready to hit a milestone, and probably we'll hit a milestone next month. I'll be pouring my 75,000th lead.
No kidding. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a nice milestone too.
Yeah, I've almost poured 74,000, and with my regular monthly order that I do for some companies, I'll hit 75,000, and I plan on hopefully being able to do something special for my customers.
Well, there you go.
And
Maybe a promo code or something like that.
do what?
Maybe like a little promo code or something like that.
Yeah, I'll do 10-20% off on order, or I'm planning on doing I am going to do some waffles per se.
Mm-hmm.
I know guys like those, and when I get back, I'm going to start looking at that, see how I want to do that, and I'm going to do it for the wild water side, the Euro style leads, and I'm going to do dough rolls and egg sinkers.
Yep, that was gonna be my next question for the people that's gonna be watching this. Like he just said, he does do wild water and pay lake style sinkers also. So
Yes. To me, Tommy, that brings up a great statement that you made. I've kind of got away from the stereotyping of fishermen.
yeah,
We're fishermen.
Yeah.
Whether you choose to fish in a 20,000-acre reservoir or a 50-mile-long river or a 5-acre stocked pond, we're all fishermen.
Yep.
And, we hear the naysayers talk about, hey, look, guys, don't take care of the fish. The ponds are overstocked and everything like that. Nothing could be more untrue than that. Now, I will say that with one caveat, is you do have handfuls of fishermen on both sides that just really don't do the care they could.
yeah.
And, all we can do, and, even when I was on Team Fish Fighters, James, and, we promote carp care,
We did.
I still back 100% what Team Fish Fighters does.
Thank you.
They have my full support on everything. I just, I ran out of time to be able to give it what the team needed from me on a personal.
We understand that.
Well, you just opened you had just opened the business too, though, Rob, and you had went through some other personal things too, at the right before that, so it was just, you did the right. I mean, in your eyes and in ours, you did the right thing because
you're still family with us.
Yeah, you're still part. In my eyes, you're still part of the team because you stood up and was like, "Hey, I got so much going on. I feel like that somebody else could be taking my spot."
Somebody who's got the time to travel, to the video shoots and really do all that. And like I said, you guys are always going to be my brothers. And I still feel like I'm part of the Fish Fighters team. I support the mission 100%. I'm always talking carp care, but I do it in a way that I'm not going to offend somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue we run into on social media.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, it is.
We do.
There's a certain webpage where a lot of new fishermen go to. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
As soon as they post a picture, if there's no mat laying there or they've got the fish.
Yeah, they're eating them up.
They're getting crucified. And guess what? If people continue to do that, you don't have a generation of carp fishermen coming up.
Exactly. Hit it on right on the head.
You can't do that.
No.
I mean, you just have to educate.
Yeah,
exactly.
Education is all it is.
Yeah,
And if they choose not to do it that way, well, you know, you just gonna have to take the tablespoon of salt and bite your tongue.
Yep.
I like that,
But
right?
that comes in, that comes in, obviously in the wild, you really can't, you ain't got nobody to really regulate. But when it comes to the pay lake, the pay lake owners could, they can step up and be like, hey, this is going to be the new rules, when it comes to you catching my fish. Don't let me catch you kicking my fish, because I see that all the time.
Exactly.
People putting them in gravel,
It's not just a pay lake, it's wild carps.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
There's
both sides.
nobody in the wild to regulate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a pay lake owner could. You know what I mean? But I've noticed like at Hubbard's and Indy Lakes, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of carp care items that are being sold in these establishments now. That wasn't there a couple years ago.
That's getting better.
Oh, it's
So-
it's 100% better than it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And, that just goes to education. And like I said, they understand now because they're starting to see fish repeatedly getting caught and with carp care. And these fish are still in pristine condition.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
And that,
Now, of course, this time of year you'll start catching fish, got red blotches, scrapes and everything.
that's because they're running them banks and stuff. You know what I mean?
They're going to spawn. They're going to bang the rocks, And, carp, they're armor-plated anyway. They're a very hardy fish.
Yeah.
And, some of your most polluted waters in the U.S. have a healthy population.
Yeah.
So, they can there's no sense, what I'm trying to say is there's no sense in giving them additional heating, but don't, they're not fragile glass either.
Mm-hmm.
When you pull one up in the net and he starts flopping around, you get him in a cradle, you get him on a mat, you just try to calm him down.
Yeah.
And the best way I found to do that is just carry a towel with you
Yeah.
and cover it over his eyes.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. Eyes, or put your hand over his, cup his eyes a little bit.
Yeah, that really does work. It calms the fish in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and I see so many people, when they're trying to unhook and everything, and they get them right at the gill plate. And not necessarily putting their fingers under, but they get them right at the gill plate, and that's one of the most sensitive parts on a carp.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
It's the lungs.
he's going to react to that.
How you been doing, Rob? You been doing okay?
I'm doing all
Well, how's your
right.
trip down there?
I'm just absolutely busy with lead orders, but I had to take a few days off.
Man, I don't blame you.
Clear my head, and be ready to get back at it when I get back to Indiana. Got a lot of great shops ordering leads.
Nice.
Some of those guys might be watching tonight. Just know, guys, your orders are getting worked on. They are getting worked on.
Hey,
He said, "Why are
they're
Rob-
not.
he
He's
said,
in
Rob-
North Carolina thinking about 20-pound
There you
carp.
go. Why Rob out back at the shop working on my legs? What's wrong with him?
So you said you're at Creekside right now?
Yeah, I'm at Creekside right now. I just got done. I've been working up at the R&W shop all day.
Nice.
For Joel, helping him out. I delivered flavors today. I helped pour some flavors in the shop. He'll probably be working till 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
On order that'll go out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's just I got to see a new tackle shop in North Carolina today, Coyotes. It's up in the Gastonia area. Nice shop. If you're down here, make a visit, take a look at it. He's got some nice carp stuff in there.
Coyotes?
It's called Coyotes. K-O-Y-E-T-E-S.
Not ugly coyote, but coyotes.
Coyotes, yeah. If it had been ugly coyote, I probably wouldn't have come back. But nice shop and friendly. It's just like everybody I met down here. I don't think honestly you come down here and you act civil. You don't act all that.
Yeah.
You meet a friend every time you come down here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure, because they're I don't know, there's just something.
You're gonna bring it down there, aren't you?
Yeah, not till the 28th of this month though.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got,
You're coming down for the qualifier.
yeah, 2 qualifiers. I got two of them Saturday. What is it? Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, we're running Memorial Day weekend. We're running 8 hours on Friday night, and then Saturday night we're running a 12-hour tournament.
Wow.
And if what I saw up here since I've been here, on the fish being caught and the activity of the fish, it's going to be, I mean, honestly, I think even with a full pond, it's going to take 23, 22 on the bottom to win a spot.
Oh yeah, because
Wow.
there's going to be, how many spots does he normally fill a night?
He averages, I know, I was talking to Paul that weighs all the fish in the shack, you know, runs the tournaments.
Yeah.
The other night, he had 23 people fishing on a weeknight, and they actually put 91 fish on paper in 8 hours. And it was a 22, I think, 22-1, something like that on the bottom to win a spot with 23 people.
Wow. Thanks.
So, James, you need to
I know.
you need to make that trip too, because this, I'm not taking anything away from any lake,
No.
anywhere, Indiana, Ohio, here, but Joe really has a beautiful facility. He really does. And it's just, you know, and as for carp care, yeah,
Hey, top to none, huh?
see what happens if you put your foot on a fish down here.
I heard, again, never been there.
Oh, you can't miss the
rumors.
fish.
That's all. I mean, not saying rumors, but that's all I've been heard about Joe's lakes. I mean,
He's
it's top quality. He's there between the aerators, the carp care,
A
and
landing mat. You got a landing mat at every station.
I mean, I heard nothing but good things about that lake. And he said,
He has mats for every peg or every spot. He has shelters.
Yeah.
Some cheap shelters for one spot. They have lights in them.
yeah,
You know, they have a place where you can set a rod up while you're baiting it up, where it's not just leaning against something.
yeah.
It's lit real well. His aeration system is absolutely one of the best. I think he has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 paddle wheels and probably 5
Wow.
fountains.
so you got that circulation going.
Oh yeah, he's got the circulation, and then what they'll do, they'll take salt blocks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I want to say the same kind that you use for deer. And they turn them paddle wheels on, and they throw salt blocks by them, and it shoots that salt water out. You know, out there.
Yeah, I mean, I just hear nothing but good things about it. I mean, from what we had Joe Letts on our show about over a year ago, and the great understanding about
We
him.
need to
He
get
said
him
he
back
treats
on the
that.
show, really, because we
Yeah.
can talk to him for hours.
He said he treats those carp like it's his kids.
I mean, he does.
So
That's why Rob said, go down there and think you're gonna put a foot on a fish, or
yeah,
think you're just gonna let it sit there and flop on the ground without trying to grab it or something, and he'll probably come hand you your money back to you to get on his property.
get
Yeah, or worse yet, catch a 28, 29 pounder.
And not count.
Do that and say, put it back in, you're not weighing it.
Yeah. I got a question. Brian Miller he wants to know, do you sell lead molds?
No, I do not. And the reason being is that I've had several guys ask me, hey, can you make me a mold this way, or can you, and I said, well, I don't make them. I have a professional CNC machinist who makes my molds for me.
Mhm.
And, I had one gentleman's like, hey, I really need this mold made. And he's really, he's a really great customer, but all my customers were really great.
yeah.
I do want to miss that. And I said, yeah, I'll get you a price for the mold. And I got him the price for it, and I didn't upcharge at all on it. And I told him, and I heard the phone hit the floor. My mold's average cost are about $340 a piece.
Woo!
Yeah.
Well, that's business right there. I mean, that's your moneymaker. All those
Yeah.
molds are your moneymaker.
But like you said, they got those got to be handmade.
I've helped guys out that want to pour their own sinkers because
Right.
they have, access to lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, that's fine. I'll help you out. And,
I heard Jimmy Sneed just did that before he went to Dale Hollow.
yeah, Jimmy is another guy, and I should have mentioned him in a shout out a while ago. Every year, I get a really big order from the fishing factory up in Connecticut.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Jimmy comes over and helps me pour lead, and everything like that. And a huge shout out to him. He just came and we got him an order together for Dale Hollow.
Nice.
I was hoping to be able to have some of the Connecticut lead ready, but I just, with other tournaments going on, tournament fishermen, and like I said, I have a couple shops that have standing monthly order.
Yeah.
I'm behind, and honestly, it's excuse me, it's getting hard to really source a lot of lead at one time. Up to when I left, I checked my figures, and from the beginning of April up to when I just left, I had already poured about 1,700 pounds of lead in that amount of time. So it's extremely, hard. You work in the shop 16, 17 hours a day.
Gotta have a
on your
break.
feet, twisting, bending, pulling. And everybody thinks, oh man, I can do that and make the big lick. And there's not a big lick to it. I make some money off of it. I'm not going to, I wouldn't do it if I didn't.
All right,
But
exactly.
it's not like, and a lot of the flavor guys can testify to this.
Yeah.
It's money for fishing, pay a couple bills, a little extra pocket money.
Yeah.
Is what it amounts to.
That's
and
exactly what for me. Bottom feeder baits. It's exactly the same way.
With your bottom feeder baits, which
Yeah.
hey, I got some of the tournament blend,
Yeah.
and I smoked the fish on.
Nice. See, that's got that dry molasses, and I'm really shocked it's not one of my biggest sellers. That tournament blend, even
Let sleep
Bear.
on it.
Bear.
I love using it.
Yeah, Bear, he loves it, especially for those buffs. He kills
Yeah,
it
it's
on
good
those.
for mixing a little bit in your chow too, man. Them buffs will go crazy for it.
Yeah, I took a bucket one day and made it up, and took a few hours out of the shop. It was a semi-warm day, and went over a couple of spots I had on Cataract Lake, and I emptied the bucket in 2 hours.
Oh, wow. Well, thanks for the shout out, brother. Appreciate that.
Nothing really big fish wise, but
No.
no. Cataract is
Yeah,
gonna
it's
catch
small.
For every 20 pounder, you're going to catch 100 small fish.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey Rob, if people want to reach out to you to put in an order, what is your website, and how can they get a hold of you if they want to place an order?
Okay, well, they can get a hold of me on Facebook.
Mhm.
Feel free to add me as a friend, message me. And then on the website, it's www.gettin, Gettin, theleadout.com.
On the YouTube channel, I will put that description on the bottom of the page, so if you guys want to check out the video. Also after this over, I'll put it on, type it in on this Facebook page too.
All right, sounds awesome. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Josh Mason said, how did Elkhorn go on Sunday?
Elkhorn went about like I thought it would. Actually, I think the fish presented themselves a little more than I thought.
Yeah.
But it was spotty. If you got in the middle lake, you did pretty good. They've been all around, and but a caveat to that is Carlin Richardson, owner of Elkhorn, sweetest lady in the world.
Yeah.
She has a beautiful place. It's really nice.
Yeah, it
reminds
is.
me like an old school pay lake like Yates or Ace back in the day.
Or Wagon Wheel.
Wagon Wheel, exactly. And she's never had that many fishermen at one time.
Oh. that's
But
cool.
hopefully now she sees the potential.
Yeah, it ran smooth. At the end was very dramatic. I fished next to Jenny Lucas, one of my one-on teammates and Midwest Carp Master Secretary.
Yep.
And, I fished next to her all day, and we were both on the struggle bus. I had them telegraphing my rod all day, but they just wouldn't hook up. Jenny had caught one small one, but it was going to get her for a spot.
Good.
And then she was up at the bait house getting the payouts ready, and her rod took off. And I went down there, make sure it was all right, which I knew it was, but I just always
To make sure.
I couldn't grab it, And I got it in, and unbeknownst to me at the time, she come down and got it and weighed it, and it was 17 pounds.
Oh, well.
Yeah, she won almost $400 off that fish too.
Wow. I heard Austin Spain caught a 25-pounder like at the end of the tournament.
Well, 5 minutes left. Phil Lucas was in a position to qualify and got knocked out with less than a minute to go of getting a qualifying position.
Yeah, somebody hit a 20-pound fish, didn't they?
Yeah, I got the big fish of the day, 20.10, and it was out of the pond I was in. But they just, that upper pond is very small, and, I think there was 17, 18 guys on it at 3 rods apiece. That's just a lot of pressure on the fish.
Yeah, I fished right across from Ron, from Wicked, and me nor him had a bump, a sniff, or nothing.
Really?
Yeah, we didn't even have a line runner.
I started out early throwing sweet corn.
Right through the corn all day.
One of the bait they like at Elkhorn.
Right.
And they just absolutely just slapped the bobber all day long, but would not hook up.
Yeah. Dave said, Rob, any update on the leads you can soak flavor in? You showed them on a video a while back.
Okay, that's a good one. I've had a lot of people asking me about that. The material I'm using for that, I'm still trying to figure out what I need to do on the structure of it, on how to make it more absorbing than what it is. It'll absorb now and last for a couple hours. But what I'm trying to find is something that's going to hold, for a longer time of leaving your rod out. And I think I may have that figured out.
Nice.
But the only problem I'm running into now is the material for it. It takes a certain powder that I have to use to coat the lead to begin with.
Yeah.
And then the material itself is extremely expensive. I'm talking for a kilogram of it is like €55,
Woo.
which is close up to about $80 for a kilo of it.
Wow.
So, I do think it's going to be coming. Right now, it's a little bit on the back burner.
Yeah.
And when I do get them, I will list them on the website. I have another mold right now that I just introduced on the website. It's an open concept gripper, kind of like a teardrop gripper, real similar to the ones I have that have swivels on them. But this is an inline with an insert, and I had them add 2 grams of weight to where the insert, where your swivel fits into the insert on the end, to help give you a little better rotation on the lead for a bolt rig.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the top of the lead, I had him cut it a 1/4 inch higher on one side. So one side of the lead, if you would split the lead in half, one side is going to be about 3 grams heavier than the other side.
Really?
And what that does is that if you fish inline leads, the concept is a bolt effect. You fit your swivel into the insert, fish hits it, he's automatically got tension against him. It's almost like a self-hooking rig. And it also helps that if you're dragging your fish, in and you're fishing treetops or logs down, the lead gets hung up, the lead will pull free from the insert, protecting the fish. And if you happen to break off, that lead will drop right off.
Yeah. Okay, I think I know what lead you're talking about. It's kind of like a straight, and it's got that little upper part, and then it's got a little bottom part.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like a tree branch, I think I feel like.
Yeah, real similar to that. The insert.
Yeah, I seen that at Naptown today.
Yeah. Those inserts I have are made by my mold maker also, and we worked on developing them for about 3 months. Blood, sweat, and tears. He would send me some samples, and I would try them out and try to destroy them. Some of them I did real easy, but the ones he's got now, James, I think you remember a lot of the old inserts that Jimmy used to get.
Yes, I remember those.
Just snap right in half.
Yeah, they would too.
Mine are bendable, but there's still the firmness to them. And I've tried to educate some people on using inline leads. I had one guy call me. He called me every name he could think of in the book.
That's not nice.
And I was like, "Whoa, slow down now. Tell me what's going on." He goes, "Well, I keep cutting my line on these fish," and I'm like, "Okay, how old's your line? Now test what kind of drag setting, and yada yada yada, this and that." And I said, "Well, I tell you what, rig one up, send me the picture, let me see what it looks like."
Yeah.
So he rigged it up, sent me the picture, and I spotted it right off the bat. Right off the bat. He wasn't using monofilament. He was using braid, which a lot of European style fishermen do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, where the line comes out of the top of the insert, he
Yeah.
wasn't using any kind of tail rubber at all.
Oh, no.
And I told him, I said, what's happening is, I said, when that fish goes sideways, if that lead has got any kind of snag in it at all, it's going to tear through
Yeah.
and get abrased on that nylon. And sure enough, he started using tail rubbers on it, and he's happy as a lark now. You know, and so, you know, it's just something simple, you know, and I always tell people, you know, whether you're pele fishing, long water, or what, you know, get on the videos, get on Team Fish Fighter's website. You know, there's tons of videos out there. Look at how people tie rigs, because, you know, you get a basic rig tied, a basic hair rig tied, and you can work off of that. But
Right.
you know, look at experienced fishermen, how they're tying their rigs.
Exactly.
You know, it's just like I said the other night with Christine doing her video shoot. You know, as for somebody who's tied rigs for me in tournaments and everything, there is nobody better in the U.S. And I'm not taking anything away from anybody,
Oh, yeah.
because there's a lot of them I haven't used. But I've watched her tie the rigs and tie lead core, and it's produced the presentation in a tank
Oh.
is just phenomenal. Now, last year, you know, Christine had to have some eye surgery done.
Oh, I didn't know that.
As we all get older, you know, our eyes start going first.
Yeah.
And
It does.
I hooked up with a guy out of UK, SRW Carp Rigs. I'll give him a shout out. Well, I ordered some rigs from him for my tournaments last year.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna tell you what, him and Christine are neck and neck.
No kidding.
And I took him to Christine and showed him to her, and I think she ordered like 500 rigs.
Wow.
You know, different styles. She was just so pleased with the way the presentation was. You know, you learn when you tie rigs like that, you drag them across your hand, especially like a, what's the rig I'm thinking of? Blowback rig.
Okay. Low back rig.
My favorite rig to use for almost every type of fishing. And, you know, you drag it across and that hook turns and pop, it's right there, you know. You actually see the mechanics of the rig, how it works.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And so, you know, shout out to SRW. He is on Facebook, guys. SRW Carp Rigs. You know, as with anything ordering from overseas, shipping's a little expensive, but he's a small business. When you take into consideration having to buy all your materials and the time to tie everything, you need the squid rigs. He's the man to hit up, and he uses all quality materials.
Yeah. I like that.
Lance Breed Love, he said, Rob, are you in North Carolina right now?
Yep, Lance, I am down here at Vale at Creekside.
All right.
For a question for you, James?
Yeah, I got a question for you, brother. All right. When did your passion for carp fishing start, Rob?
I fished my first time. Well, my passion was fueled by a guy named Travis Yates.
Okay.
And he used to own Yates Pay Lake. Well, still owns it, but it's not Pay Lake anymore. Travis was like a second dad to me.
Uh-huh.
I would go out there, get dropped off. I started carp fishing when I was 9 years old.
Dang. Good job.
And, you know, I had just then 6-foot rods.
Yeah.
Travis made up a shack bait called Super Bait, which was a strawberry hamburger bait.
Mm.
And he would give me a tub of that and sit me down in front of the bait house, and he'd
Game
say,
on.
sit there and watch your rods. You know, that's back when we put rods on top of the trash can. And
Or a lawn chair.
Lawn chairs.
That's why I used.
I've had it all. I've used the trash cans. I've used the lawn chairs. A great fisherman. Been a long time friend. Doesn't fish that much anymore. Donnie Lane.
I remember him.
Back in the day, one of the top carp fishermen in central Indiana. Donnie was a big help to me. but he used to work for a company that made scaffolds. And he made up a little deal that was foldable, and it was like a mini lawn chair, but it was a scaffold. And you could adjust it up and down, and we used those at Yates, Lee and Wall, Catch the Big One, 1111, Wagon Wheel, you know, that, let's see, there used to be Dandy Trail Pay Lake, fished there a lot. Rainbow Lake, fished there a lot.
Yep. Pine Lake's back. Pine Lake's.
Pay Lake, yeah. In fact, it's where, I think it's where their city park or city hall is now. That lake is still there. Of course, it's been reworked and everything. And I think Marshall fishes out there some and gets some small, you know, carp out of there still. But you know, I just, you know, there's so many guys from my history. Yeah, I started out when I was 9 years old. Got a passion for it. You know, I think when I was 11,
cat and carp together? Was you doing?
Well, I didn't really start catfishing per se, besides for channels.
Yeah.
Until I was like about 16.
Okay.
And then I went to Lee and Wall one night, and which is now Indy Lakes. Billy DeHaven owns it.
Yeah.
I went to Lee and Wall. And I caught a 46-pound flathead.
Wow.
And I caught that on a 10-foot Eagle Claw yellow noodle rod. And anybody from back in the day, or
I remember those.
I'm gonna tell you what, that rod will go tip the butt real easy. And that got me hooked on catfishing. I still love to catfish. In fact, I've got a brand new catfish set up at home that I've had for a year now, and I haven't had a chance to get it out yet. But water temperatures are coming up. The cats are really gonna start firing off, and
Yeah.
I'll always have the carp equipment with me, but I'm gonna break out my favorite cat bait for blues, and I'm gonna go wear some fish out.
Yeah, Lance Breed loves them Rob shark fishes too.
You remember when did you start using the Shimano 3500s?
Well, now that right there, James, and Lance, yes, I got to go on my. I'll get right back to you, James.
Okay.
Lance, I got
Oh, sorry.
First shark fishing trip last year with Austin, Spain. Austin is a guide, Panama City. He lives in, you know, up here in Indiana, but he guides down there. We went down in May. I think it was May. No, maybe it was even later.
I think it was hotter. I think it may have been in June.
Yeah, it may have been, but he took us to a spot on Panama City Beach, and the first couple of nights there, it was, I mean, it's amazing that, number one, the weight of those rods and reels, okay, and then you have Austin on a kayak, kayaking bait out 1,400 yards in a kayak out into the ocean, dropping those. We crank the leads down into the sand to hold them, and then you just wait. And when you get a fish take off, it is just, you don't believe the power.
Hang on.
And, you know, I caught, you know, my shark, I caught two shark. One was about 300. The other one was about, probably a bucket and nibble, somewhere right in there. But, you know, I hear people talking, I've caught 40-pound carp.
Yeah.
And, you know, the power of them are
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
When a
phenomenal.
shark, you know, you've been fighting him for 30 minutes, and then he decides he wants to make a 600 or 700 yard run right back out.
Ain't nothing you can do about it when he's made up his mind.
I remember.
Yeah, but
I remember that because you was on the team at the time, and then of course Austin's another teammate of ours, Team Fish Fires. And when I seen that, I was like, man, I was so jealous. Oh my gosh, man, Rob's out there.
Just think, if you would have been there, you could have paid him $50 to
I
hold
could
their shark.
$50. I probably 75 just to take a picture with it.
Yeah, probably.
well, I'll tell you another thing we did too. We had our big shark rods out, and then we took some just basically like 10-foot surf casting rods, and they're real similar to the big 12-foot rods used for carp fishing.
Yeah.
A little more bibs, but same concept, and we were catching sand fleas and using those for bait and just casting out, I don't know, 70, 80 yards maybe. And I had one rod take off, and I looked over, and it was actually, we had the rod set in the kayak rod holders. up on the beach.
Yeah.
And I turned my light on and looked over, and the kayak is actually spinning on the sand, heading for the water. So I reached over and grabbed that rod real quick, and it was immediately just like, just gone. And I'm looking at the spool, and I'm like, I'm starting to see some mono backing.
Oh no.
And Thomas is like, you're just going to have to hold on, until it's ready to come in. Long story short, it was a bull redfish that would probably go about 32, 33 pounds. Austin went out there and got it in the surf, and I knew it was a big fish when he turned around and looked at me, and his eyes were the whole size of his face. And, they do catch bigger, but surf fishing is kind of like a different world.
Yeah.
When you catch something that big on the surf. But yeah, it was awesome. I recommend anybody go do it. Go just have a blast.
I'm not sure if Austin's doing it anymore, is
No,
he?
he still does it.
Does he?
Yeah, he still does it. It just
He's been going through a lot of stuff. Divorce is finally final and stuff like that. So.
And the fishing down there for sharks hasn't been the greatest yet. Austin just got back from down there.
Yep.
And he can barely do any fishing because the surf was so strong. And when you're kayaking baits out,
It's
16,
hard.
700 yards, and the waves are crashing over the top of your kayak, that you just kind of don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't flirt with it because
Yeah.
them waves can be big, and you've seen it where they'll come crashing down. Well, when they come crashing down, they retreat too,
Yeah.
and they will pull you under. I've seen videos of it. You know what I mean? Where people
Oh yeah.
almost pretty much drown from that.
But James, get back to your question.
Oh yeah, that question. Go.
That is such a great story because when I was 15 years old,
Uh-huh.
a friend of mine took me down to West Side Bait and Tackle for the first time.
Yeah.
And because I always used to go to Baker's Bait and Tackle in Lyndhurst, Washington.
Okay.
Well, you guys remember when that was there?
Yeah, that's a daycare. Well, back in the day.
Yeah, I went to school with Travis Baker, and so, I know the Bakers real well. But anyway, I went into West Side Bait and Tackle, and of course, I have this drool hanging down from my chin because of all the equipment that Jimmy's dad had in there.
Oh.
Even then, it was a big carp fishing, place.
Yeah.
3500s, 250s, 350s, 150s Shimano's,
You definitely had
Eagle
all.
Ball, Water Eagle rods.
Mm-hmm.
There were some Berkeley rods that had just come out that were just, so flimsy. You just sit there and shake it, and the tip would almost come back and hit you in the head. But I was in there, and you remember, Jimmy's dad, he's just such a friendly guy.
Yeah.
But if he knew you were green to something, buddy, you thought he was going to eat you alive. And I was standing there, and I'm looking at this stuff, and he walks over, and he goes, "Something I can help you with, young man?" I said, "Well, yeah, I'm looking to get some rods and reels. I want to fish for carp even more." And he goes, "Well, how much money you got?" I said, "I've got like $100. And he goes, "Well, $100 might buy my dinner."
Oh man.
He made a comment like that, and he said, "I'll tell you what," he said, "here's $10. He said, "Go up here on the corner at a little restaurant. You should be up the corner of Washington and Whitehurst Parkway. It's a little mom and pop place.
Yeah.
It's where Speedway is now." He goes, "You go up there and get you some lunch." And he said, "You come back down here in about an hour, and we'll chew the fat and talk some business."
All
And
right.
I'm just, I'm sitting there almost trembling. I'm like, God, did I make this guy mad, or something? So anyway, I go back down there, and he goes, "So you want to buy some carp rods and reels?" I said, "Yes, sir, I do." And I've always been raised that way. My
Right.
elders, yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
a
tell
firm
you what,
believer on that.
Yeah.
He goes, "Where's your car at?" And I said, "Well, my friend's out here." And he said, "Well, help me get this stuff." That man gave me 4 ugly sticks, 9-foot ugly sticks,
Wow.
and 4 300 Shimano bait runners.
No kidding.
He gave me a whole bag full of hooks and sinkers, and he gave me some old tailor-made dough bait, and he's wrote down some recipes and tried for some stuff. And he said, now, he said, if you go out and you do good, he goes, you thank your mama and daddy. And I was thinking, thank my mama and daddy. You know, and I kind of looked at him, I said, well, you know, I respect my mom and dad, but what's my mom and dad do with that?
Yeah.
And he made the comment, they raised a fine young man. And, you know, right then and there I was hooked.
Yeah.
Right then and there I was hooked, and I always did my business and trading with Westside, and I did all the way up to the day they closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Jim was definitely,
I respect everybody that's got a small business, bake shop, and everything like that. But I will say this: there will never be another Westside Bakery.
No.
And it's not about the stuff that was in there, but it's about when you walked in the door, you were a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's how they made you feel when you walk in. You know what
Oh
I
my
mean?
gosh. The Donald family, Jim, Tim, remember Red?
You know, Tim, God rest his soul,
Yeah.
great guy. You know, Jimmy, you know, I love the man. I was so glad to get to see him at the,
Chili
you
meat?
know, the chili meet.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just, it was great, you know, because it brought back some really good memories. You know, of some of the socials we did.
Yeah.
You know, back when I was, you know, on the CAC board and everything like that.
Oh, that's right. You was on the CAG board, wasn't you? Yep.
Yeah, I was Indiana president, chairman for a while, and then I kind of got out of carp fishing for a while.
You did? I know that.
Yeah, for a couple of years I did. I got more into bass fishing,
Okay.
and you know I did some tournament trails, and I mean, a lot of people don't know this. But my dad was a professional bass fisherman.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Along with working for the Marion County Sheriff's Department for 41 years.
Yeah.
But my dad really got me into it, and you know, went out and fished some big BASS events, fished against some of the big names.
Nice.
But I'll tell you, without any doubt, if you don't have a major sponsor in it, you're not gonna make it unless you're just fishing like regionals and stuff like that. Because I know what my dad spent, and it was crazy. But yeah, I did the bass fishing thing for a while and love it. Still love to bass fish when I get a chance.
Yeah.
Got a lot of farm ponds I like to go to, and that's why I like to take take the family out. And, you know, my kids are all grown now and have kids of their own, and I've got grandbabies that I'm going to teach to fish.
There you go.
And you know, I'm going to teach them the right way.
Yep.
And to just enjoy what Mother Nature has gave us.
Exactly.
And you know, my wife, like I said, God bless her soul. You know, she's just a rock.
I bet.
And I took her carp fishing for the first time in North Carolina. When we came down last year, we went over and fished Cannon's carp catfish, like Brandon Cannon's Lake. It's in South Carolina.
Uh-huh.
And Brandon invited me over to fish one night, and he said, we're going to do a Beat the Boss program. He said, I think it was like $75 to get in there or something like that. And
Yeah.
it was your top 3 fish of the night weight-wise. So, you know, it wasn't all relying on just one fish. It was just, you start catching, and your smallest one comes off. If it's bigger, you know, that way, that way, that way. And, you know, me and Brandon were battling it out, and I can't say enough about Brandon, because when I got down there, it was a lake I'd never had been to. Didn't have a clue on what to throw. And Brandon's like, he goes, here, 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 and here. This is what they're biting on. This is the pickup. Now, you know, some people, they don't want strangers to catch fish.
Right.
And I will just leave it at that. I'm at a place that's not like that either. Joe is really good about helping people out, and because he's a sportsman.
He wants people to catch fish when they come there to his lake.
Yes.
So when they catch fish, they antagonize them to come back. You know.
Well, Tommy, you know, if you go to the lake and no one's friendly there, and the house fishermen, they're like, you know, talking and all that, and the owner offers no help, and you have a lousy time, and you spend $150, do you really want to go back there?
No.
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 And that just costs that owner, you know, and some owners don't care about it. And
Yeah.
that's fine. That's what they want. But you'll never see me grace their pond.
Yeah.
You know, and
And a lot of us Indiana guys travel to North Carolina and stuff like that too, man. So that, you know, that reputation, that not having very good hospitality when you're down there,
Yeah.
you know, that goes a long way when
You have that great.
you know, somebody comes back from there and they, you know, they have an experience like that.
well, you know, of all, you know, there's tons of lakes down here. Tons of lakes. And everybody's like, Rob, why do you just go to Ward's Pop at Creekside? Or Spillman's or Midway or something like that. You know, there's nothing wrong with these other lakes, I'm sure.
Nope.
You know, some of the lakes down here are not as big or as well stocked, I'll put it that way, as some of the others. And some pond owners, you know, they don't have the big capital to put into it. You know, they're just running a small little pond.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But here's the thing, too. It's not just about the fish.
It's the pond bosses.
It's the atmosphere. And
Yeah. It's how I think it's how we get treated when we come down there. Because we get treated with the utmost respect from, you know,
exactly. They treat, you know, the first time I met Joe, and the first time I met Chris Southern, and Tracy Ward, Jeff Ward, you know, all those guys, they treated me like they knew me forever.
Yep. And they do.
And that right
Because that's how they
there-
treat all carp fishermen, though. You know what I mean? All carp fishermen, you know, are pretty much, they feel the same.
You will get treated great until there's a reason not to treat you great.
Yep. And
And
they're,
that's the thing that aggravates me is when they really push it to, you know, the limit and try to play some of their games and everything like that. And it's like, you know, when it comes down to it, guys, it is fishing. It's a sport. You know, you know, if the guy 2 pegs down for me wins $4,000 and I win $50, I'm just as happy for him as I am for me.
There you
yep.
go.
I enjoy seeing fish caught.
Oh, me too. I love it.
Because we all have the same opportunities.
That's a big thing for me, you know. And but yeah, when we were at Raymond, Kansas, like get back to that real quick. I put Mary on her own set of her rods that night.
Yeah.
First time she ever, you know, really pay lake carp fished. And she was sitting there, and one of her rods stood up, and she was just like a champ. She went over and pulled up on that rod and fought that fish. And of course, she wasn't using bait caster; she just had spin cast reels. But she played it like a champ. God bless her, she tried to control the fish the best she did, but we ended up wiping out, just trying to get the fish in and out. We wiped out like 6 rods.
It happens. It
But it
happens.
was well worth it. She got her PB,
Nice.
21 pounds even.
There you go.
Won her spot that night and had 3rd big fish of the night. So, you know, she was just like ecstatic. And now, you
Cook.
know, she's coming back down here with me for our qualifier. I'm gonna come in early. I'm gonna try to take Mary over to a couple lakes that, you know, a little bit slower paced for, you know, like I asked her, I said, do you want to go fish Ward's? She said, hell no. She's seen what happens at Ward's.
Ward's,
I told her, I
it's,
said, what I may do is,
James, you wouldn't know what to do.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you could, but it's, your rods are like this.
Twitching.
No, not twitching, like, as soon as you cast it out and land, and then you turn around with this one and you're over here baiting this one, so while you're baiting this one's already got a fish on it.
Sir, dang.
So
So,
that's right. James has never. Oh, hey James, guess what?
Sir.
You're going to Ward's with me this year one time.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, we will do it. We'll go down and fish a few days at Ward's, and you're now. Here's the thing. You're going to have to fish Bay Lake style there.
Oh,
he's got
Bay Lake rods.
He's got Bay Lake rods and stands.
I tell you the truth. I love fishing with the Palex rods. I mean, the
The stands.
stands more than I do the European style.
Because he's been catching more fish, that's why.
No, it's
That's
just
why his poor little arm is so
No.
sore.
it's because it's like it's fast and easy. You know, you just stick it in the ground. That's it.
When I went to Ward's last year,
Yeah.
after one of the qualifiers, there was a handful of us that went. I got a late draw and got stuck on the little pond on, I think it was the 71 hole. And the little pond generally fishes slower.
Yeah.
Everybody always wants at Ward's once in the middle of the big lake, and because they want buff fish. And that, that's fine. I like fishing there too. I've caught some good buff in there. But I fished that hole that night, and I'm gonna tell you what. About 6 hours into the tournament, I was like, I'm done catching fish.
Yeah, because it's a two rod tournament and you can't keep both rods
I
in the
made
water.
mistake of getting
Just
the
like
third rod
what
down there.
Lance just said.
I made a mistake in the third rod one time, and I'll never do that again.
I did the same thing. It stayed on the bank pretty much all night. So it really just got to the point to where I was really trying. I would keep that pole baited, that third pole. I would just keep it baited, with a pickup on it. That way I could just grab it, pick it up, and throw it out there, and then set one to the side. Just kind of rotating them.
Brian Miller says, "Do you fish for wild buffalo?"
Do you fish for buffalo in the wild, or have you?
I have. We talked about Cataract Lake a while ago.
Yeah. That's where I got my biggest buff from.
Yeah, that's where my biggest buff has come from. 36.7.
Yeah, mine's like 26 or 28.
Yeah, there's a lot of really. Well, I'll tell you something about Cataract. Cataract is flood in down reservoir.
Yeah.
So the water is always up and down. Because the watershed for Cataract is almost 1,000 and some square miles. That
Okay.
drains into Cataract.
Yeah.
And you have to wade through a lot of fish. And
Yes.
one thing I do teach people that want to go fish Cataract, because I've been fishing Cataract since I was a child. We had a house on Lieber,
Nice.
and always fished with it. Don't always go to the most popular fishing spots. Because, like, if you go to the beach and fish, which you fish the beach, James.
I have.
We did tournaments there.
Yeah.
You know what happens on the beach. It's
Okay.
1 5-pounder after the.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Cannot ran same way.
Right.
And if you just do a little trekking and do a little research, find you the spots that are maybe a little harder to get into or harder to fish. And that's where you're going to find your predominantly big fish at.
Mm-hmm.
They're comfortable there. They don't get a lot of pressure there. I do remember the day when I got my PB buff. Well, that's my Indiana PB buff, put it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
PB buff is out of Texas. That's a 44.4.
Dang.
And the fish didn't fight at all, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. Well, you'll find when they get up really that big, they keep a lot of pressure on you, they'll make some runs, but it's not like catching a 22, 23-pound pound.
Okay.
It's bad. But, when I was at Cataract that day and got that, I fished for 13 hours. I got there at 6 a.m., baited in, got my rods ready and everything, and within the first hour, I had my first fish on. It was like about a 17, 18-pound buffalo. And I thought, well, maybe they're in here. I ended up catching like 15 fish that day, and they were all buffalo. And they all ranged from that big all the way down to about 12 pounds.
Wow.
It was so fun going after different species and having them isolated on my bait, and everything like that. So, buffalo fishing in the wild is, to me, I fish totally different than I did in the Pay Lakes.
Right.
I'm sure somebody's going to ask what's my favorite bait for buffalo. Soybean.
Soybean.
Soybean, hands down.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's because the buffalo's mouth is a lot more soft and sensitive in the way it's angled.
Okay.
I think that soft, palatable bait, it's real. You know how soybean is, it's fluffy.
Yeah.
And I think when they go down and start eating it, it doesn't doesn't spook them as much. It's easier for them to get in. And, first and foremost, number one thing is you got to have buffalo where you're at.
Yeah.
And buffalo move a lot.
Is there a certain flavor you add with that? Soybean?
My favorite, absolute all-time favorite, whether or not you're using McCormick's, Lorenz, whatever brand.
Kroger's.
My favorite part itself is banana.
Yeah, banana's awesome.
Banana.
Love banana.
That's what I've had my best luck on for buffs. It's wood. I'm the type that if something works, don't reinvent the wheel.
Exactly.
And, I watch a lot of guys, and I've been guilty, and I am still guilty of doing it sometimes. But, I watch them when they're fishing, and they'll have, 6 different buckets of bait just for that tournament. 10 cups and pickups, different ways and everything. And,
Tired, man, long day at work.
But you don't keep switching up and giving them a Baskin Robbins until it's time to do that.
Right, exactly.
And generally, I've found I can stick, if I'm throwing grape chow, okay, I'll stick with my grape chow. Now, if I start seeing my rods just twitch or getting a lot of slack line, I'll keep working it and I'll maybe change the pickup. I may go to a hot pickup, or I may go to a super sweet pickup, or I may go to something real savory.
Right.
Until I figure out what they want. And catching 1 or 2 fish on a certain pickup, to me, doesn't determine what they're really wanting. And watching your swim you're in, watching the bait you're in, or you start to see fish rooting along the bottom and eating. Are they hitting this pickup harder than the others?
Right.
It's just multiple factors in there. But, my biggest fault as a fisherman is patience. Even after all these years, I still lose patience at times.
And what do you think makes a good carp angler?
What makes a good carp angler?
Yes.
Number one, someone that respects the outdoors.
Well, there you go.
Someone that's willing to help a new fisherman or help a veteran fisherman. And someone who respects what's in that body of water.
I like that.
What's going on, Phil Lucas?
Phil.
I'm trying to, Lance, man. I put in some hours today, man. Tired. I'll post some pictures, man. Shout out to Justin Keaton and Zachary Peak too, man. They came and
Oh, did they fix that trimming and all that stuff?
that shit they came and this lady's got a big fireplace and
Yes,
got a bunch
Show me a
of
picture of that.
it's got shiplap on the left and the right. You know what I mean? All different colors from barnwood, like a barn that's been taken down. Like there's been a red barn, a gray barn, a white barn. So the woman that I did the job for, she went and purchased all that wood.
Oh, nice.
And I had Justin and Zach come in and they came in and did both sides.
All right, Rob. What's your
It's a great carpenter.
who?
Justin.
Oh yeah.
He is. He's
Yeah, he's real good.
Him and Zach. Hey, Zach's a beast too.
I just started seeing some of Zach's work the other day. He posted some pictures and it looked great.
Yeah, him and Justin's been doing a lot of work together. Really, man, they've been doing a lot of side jobs and stuff.
That's great. I like seeing them. Nothing against the big businessman because he started small ones, but I really like seeing the small business guy prosper.
Oh, yeah.
Do.
Well, what's your PB common mirror?
Any common mirror.
And Buff.
I caught that at, let me think here. I actually caught that at Hubbard's, and I got it, was it last year or year before last, 27.7.
Nice. What is that? Common or mirror?
No, that was a mirror.
Okay. 27?
Yeah.
7. Mirror. And what?
I've never been fortunate enough at Dale Hollow to get a big mirror yet. I've hit big commons at Dale Hollow,
Yeah.
but I've not got a real big mirror yet.
What's your common?
My common is a shared fish. And I will tell you that story too. My common is a 36.7.
36.7?
And that was out of Baldwinsville.
He must have been asleep.
Well, I'll tell you a little story about that. Christine Simpson and I,
Yeah.
been team partners now for 5 years. We got our typical draw in Baldwinsville.
Yeah.
We ended up drawing one peg that we would not fish no matter what, and then we drew the marina.
Okay.
Oh God, not the marina again.
We drew the marina 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Was that a team name?
That was their team name.
I remember that.
And, when we went out there and checked water and everything, I'm throwing 5-ounce leads and they're going blip, 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 all the way down the river. Because the middle peg at the marina
Yeah.
in Baldwinsville, and any of you Baldwinsville guys, listen up, because you're gonna get some 411 here.
There you go.
There is nothing in the middle peg to hold fish. It is completely smooth, steady depth all the way across. Okay, so back to the shared fish. We have picked it up. Christine has storm poles.
Okay.
Now, for those of you that don't know what storm poles are in the Euro fishing, storm poles, you can get them up to 12 foot tall.
Okay.
And they're meant for bivvies and overhangs and tarps and everything like that. Christine was literally taking a storm pole and zip tying it to a piece of telephone pole coming up out of the ground so she could get where her alarm was about 12 foot off the ground.
Oh, wow.
Because you had to keep your line out of the water to even be able to reach any slack water on the opposite side of the river, and we're talking 65, 70 yards.
Yeah.
So, we're doing that. I'm like, do we even bother putting bait out? Because I don't think we should chum anything, because it's going, and just like she talked about in her podcast, you're going to make your neighbors sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we threw out some pack balls. I clipped on some big leads. And I was on the far right of the peg. Christine fished the far left. And I said, I'm just going over and throwing down the edge of our peg line right at the dock. The dock is only like 12 foot off the bank.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm just going to throw it in there and we'll see what happens. So, I had been up a while. I told Christine, I said, here's what I put on it. I said, holler, if we get one on. And I'm usually pretty good about waking up. It takes me a minute to get going, but I'll get there. And Christine's good about as soon as she gets a fish on, she doesn't wait for it to get into the bank,
Yeah.
Ah, we're on. So anyway, I had been in the bivvy, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes, and I was kind of fading out. I heard the alarm, so I set up, and I was getting my shoes on, and Christine said, we're on. And she said, the fish is close. And I thought, please don't tell me this. And I get out there, and she's got one of my Saxons.
Oh,
That
dude.
rod I threw by the dock. And she's like, here, I want you to play this fish. I said, I don't like handing a rod off to anybody. But she goes, here, just play it. So I start playing this fish. And guys, when you get that one fish on that just feels like you're pulling in a telephone pole.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's the way this fish did until it got about 5 foot from the bank. And I don't know if it rubbed on some rocks that were right there by the bank, but this fish took off against current and peeled out about 60 yards of line. I'm just sitting there and I'm just holding, and Christine's looking back at me with that famous Christine look on her face, like WTF. I'm just like, it's going. I honestly thought we might have had a sturgeon on, because there are some sturgeon up there in the river. Not a lot, but there's a few. And I'm just like, all right, I'm getting ready to start seeing braid. She's like, just start pressuring down on it. She said, you're just going to have to. And about that time, it just turned, and here it comes back downriver. Now, have you ever seen a fat man with a 12-foot rod in his hand with a big pit reel trying to reel in as fast as he can? Because this fish is trying to drag race me.
I'm sweating over here.
Now it's going downriver. And I'm like, okay, how much more? So it took out like another probably 30 yards. Then it started making that S coming in. It's back and forth, back and forth. And Christy's like, "Are you all right?" I said, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm good." So she gets the waders on. I'm like, "Christine, it's 16 foot right there." She goes, "I don't care. This fish is not getting away."
Yeah.
So she's down there with the net. Fish hasn't shown itself yet at all. A few bubbles and everything like that. And immediately when I saw the bubbles, I thought sturgeon or some kind of catfish. Because there are some big channel nets in the Seneca River.
Yeah.
Well, this was a moment I wish we had had on video. Christine is hovering down at the net, and I'm bringing the fish in towards the net, and she's basically right in my line of sight. I can't see where the line enters the water, but I know that she's right there because she's maneuvering with it.
Right.
She turned around and looked at me, and it was another one of those, her eyes were bigger than her face, and her mouth was hanging to the ground.
WTF. What?
Yeah, and
Donkey boys!
she's like, baby it. And I'm like,
Baby it.
I'm just holding the rod. That's all I'm doing.
Right.
So I started just kind of pumping back on a little bit. Took like 1 or 2 steps, and I seen her dip that net. And when she went to pull that net back, it was like Armageddon. That fish started going crazy. It about pulled her in the river in the net.
Wow.
And she's on riprap anyway, and that's on an incline, in rubber boots, waders, and she goes, "Help me or I'm going in." So I reached down there and grabbed her, and we literally almost ripped the net in half, just trying to get all of the net around the fish.
Yeah.
And we got it up. As soon as she lifted it, she goes, "It's over 35."
36.7.
Yeah, it was 36.7. Now, that was 2 hours into the tournament
Right.
at the start. That fish held for big fish till the last hour.
No kidding.
And we got beat with a 37.6.
No, man, what the?
Cost us about $5,000.
Oh,
Now, imagine when you get a phone call. from
Yeah.
the tournament, and you're all hyped up, "Hey, we're gonna finally get some hardware." Because the money, like you said, the money's a bonus. It's that hardware.
Yeah, that's why.
It's the memory. You're
the
right.
trophies that I got from there, I only got 2. You know what I mean? That's from me hitting 3rd place big fish, and then
I do want to do a
big
video
fish.
down there, up there one day.
You need to go out there. It's
You
really
get some good videos,
Oh,
especially if you get some videos of the
somebody made a
falls
comment
at night.
last week. Said you better have more cameras. You know, and like,
Yeah, because the pegs are far apart.
yeah,
They're on different parts of, you know what I mean, of the river.
it'd be kind of cool if I get like 4 camera guys
Yeah.
and do certain parts.
James, I've got a GoPro,
Yeah.
but I am not tech savvy. So when I get back to Indiana, let's get together. You can show me how to operate this
Well,
GoPro,
hell yeah.
and I'll start taking it to some of the tournaments, and I'll send the footage to you.
I'll put it
can
together.
all the bad words. And,
Okay.
He said, cut out all the
Beep,
bad words.
beep, 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 beep.
You wouldn't have no video then.
Oh, I hear Chris. I know Christine's mouth. I heard.
Tommy, you'll understand what I'm about to say. James, you can edit out all the whatevers too.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, I'll do that. Heck yeah.
I like Mike's a great kid too. I mean,
Hey, for the people out there that's watching live, if you guys got any questions for Rob Stout,
Yeah.
go ahead and feel free, and we'll go ahead and ask him for you and get you guys
I
some
may not
answers.
have the answer, but I won't lie to you. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that much.
So, there's a couple quick questions. That, of course, with the get the lid out, your business and all that stuff. And you probably got all kinds of bait shops. How many bait shops do you deliver to? Now, I know their biggest one is Big Carp Tackle in Oklahoma.
David Moore, Zach Testa, his guys, Jake in there.
Yeah,
David carries a small selection of my leads, but he seems to be really pleased with them.
sweet.
He really sells about, he orders my method leads, my inline method leads, which is probably, one of my most popular leads I make.
Yeah,
That one is kind of like, an inline method lead. There's not really a lot of different design changes you can make in it, but I made some like inside tweaks on mine.
okay.
That guys really seem to like, and I'm not going to give that what that is because that's kind of proprietary the way I had it made. But,
Understandable.
you know, he started to order my atomic lids, which is my design. And now I have some guys over in the UK that are starting to do the atomic lids too, which is fine. I mean, they contacted me. We have arrangements on stuff because I did file for my patents and my copyrights on certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that to try to keep anybody from doing something, but I want people to have some ingenuity of their own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
You know, a lot of the coatings I use are my mixes.
Yeah, see, that's another question I was going to ask you about that too, is that you got a lot of awesome different types of camouflage, different colors.
Yeah.
The fuzzies, you still doing the fuzzy stuff?
The fuzzies, right now, I have a little bit of the coating for them.
Yeah.
That is a different type of coating, and right now, well, actually, since about COVID started,
Yeah.
that company is on a very limited production of stuff,
Oh.
and I don't have a lot of. I have some.
Yeah.
I will say this, you know, the reason why I haven't listed them on the website is because I don't want to put the taste out there and not be able to fulfill.
I understand.
I have a few of my raw water teams that I sponsor. You know, some of those guys like using them, but again, that item, the coating is very expensive also.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't find anybody in the U.S. that makes that coating. All of my coatings come from overseas in Europe, different countries.
That gets expensive too, getting all that stuff from different.
You
Yeah,
just shipping?
is, I mean, it's crazy, and everybody's like, you know, I've had some people say, Rob, you're not charging enough for leads.
Yeah.
Rob, way overcharging for leads. Well, you know, if this was number one, like I said, when I started the business, I wanted to do something that made it affordable for the guy that doesn't have, you know, 10 grand to go out and drop on equipment in
Right.
town.
Yeah.
You know, I want a guy who's going to Dale Hollow for 4 or 5 days to be able to order 40 or 50 leads and spend, you know, $60, $70 on that.
Yeah.
Something that's not going to break the bank.
Right. I spent 25. I just spent 25 at Naptown on your stuff.
Did you?
Yeah.
You got some of the big no rolls, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're about to go, ain't you? You said you're about to go to Dale Hollow.
No, not no rose. Oh my gosh, I forget the name.
Methylid.
It's a method lead. Looks like a teardrop type.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't have no inlines.
Yeah, I looked the here from TJ soon. You'll probably be wanting to get a Euro lead order because
Yeah, Euro.
I just ordered some more no rolls.
Right.
But no, back to the question. I've got big carp tackle.
Yeah.
I've got a Fishing Factory 3 up in Connecticut.
Mhm.
I'm working on a very large order for them right now. In fact, I think some of my family's going to help while I'm gone to go in there and get some stuff done. I've taught my daughter to pour.
Good.
She knows what for. My son-in-law, both my son-in-laws know how to pour. Mary knows how to trim them and check for any defects in them. She's my quality control person.
There you go.
You know, and for them to help me, after as frustrated as I get out in that shop sometimes, and they just keep coming back for more.
Well.
And, you know, that's the blessing to have a family that
Yeah,
backs you.
that's what I was. That's awesome when you got a family like that. To actually, you know, you guys get together and you guys kind of got your own little good family business together. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've got molds for split shot.
Made in America, family made.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and you know, I started doing this, and you know, I made the leads for Team USA. I
Nice.
supplied them with their leads for the World Championships every year. You know, I can't say enough about Bogdan and Mihai.
Yeah.
Henry, Billy West. You know, all the guys on the team. You know, they're always, especially Bogdan.
Yeah.
I picked Bogdan's brain because that's what they used to do. They had a lead making operation in Romania.
Oh, did they?
Yes, Bogdan's dad and himself. You know, Bogdan told me that, and I'm not patting myself on the back, 'cause that's not me, but from somebody with the status that Bogdan has in the Eurofishing community and the world world championship type fishermen. He said they're the best leads he's ever had.
Nice. That's good.
And that
You
just
do.
made-
You got some great stuff. You really do.
Yeah, and that's pale leg
Yeah.
style and wild water because I've used them both.
Well, I appreciate. I know when I first started doing the no rolls, you know, my first color was camo brown,
Yep.
and you know, it just seemed to be, you know, if you understand how the sun works through the water and the UV rays and everything,
Yeah, I do. A little bit, but I understand.
you could have something bright on the bottom, and very unlikely the fish is going to see it that much.
Yeah.
Now, something with the dark color, the way the UV rays, and this is what my guy that taught me in the UK was the darker the color, the more depth for a fish to pick up the shadow of it.
Yeah, isn't that
Not the
weird?
color, but the shadow. So I started making the no rolls in camo brown. Camo brown and silty green was my first two colors I ever made. And I had guys calling me from out of highway. They're like, all I'm doing is getting bump, 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 bump. And I'm like, okay, what, you know, well, you know, they're not picking up the bait. You know, it's got to be something to do with your coating. And I'm like, no, I can guarantee it's not the coating. Because that coating has no smell whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so one of the guys out there, he had one of the underwater fish spies.
Okay.
So he was using my no rolls, and he put the fish spy on there and got it down there by his bait. And of course, there was some carp swimming around. This one carp, just a little one, comes over, picks up the sinker.
No kidding.
Picks up the sinker and drops it. Did that like 3 times. And then finally it picks up the sinker, takes off. He gets a run, there's nothing there.
It's the
And
color.
then what we determined it was he was using chow back bait. The chow looks almost identical to the coating.
Oh, no kidding.
So they were picking it up. And of course, when you use those little short
Yeah.
lead rigs, you know, your hook is right there by your lid. And, you know, I kind of like, well, there's really nothing I can do about that. But I still, you know, I haven't had any more people tell me that that's happened.
Yeah.
It could have happened, but nobody's had a camera on it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't think it has anything to do. I think it's just camouflage so good. But I also tell people when they're ordering their colors, their first question I get is, what's your most popular color? Well, I'd say for the last year, my most popular color is muddy green.
Muddy green.
Muddy green. And, you know, I'm like, you know, you kind of got to know what your bottom is like.
Right.
You know, now, guys that go to Del Hollow, I get the question all the time, what color? I tell them, you want sand camo. Sand camo or desert storm, 2 of my colors. Because if you remember, or another one is clay camo.
Yeah.
Where Jimmy Steve went down there, he took that picture of my lead sitting among the rocks right there in shallow water.
Uh-huh.
It took everybody just about 5 minutes looking at that picture to find where's Walden.
Yeah.
And the
That's-
only way they picked it up was finding the swivel, because the swivel is black. So, you know, it's going to the bottom that you're on, and, you know, judging it from there. But, you know, a lot of people's ask me, what's the difference between a matte finish and a standard finish? Well, a standard finish is going to be your textured finish.
Right.
It feels rough. A matte finish is going to be the same type of color, but there's an additive I put in it that dulls the finish. And Tommy, you know this with painting. There's stuff you can put in paint to dull down paint.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, it's the same concept. And it makes a smoother finish, but it looks dull. And I find for that, if I recommend a smooth matte finish if you're fishing water with current, to where if you've got a lot of debris in the water, grass, something like that, I recommend a smooth matte finish because the water flows over the lead easier. The grass doesn't catch on the texture, and then you don't end up dislodging your lead and bouncing down the river.
Lance Breedlove said, he said green for New York.
For New York, I will tell you what the most popular color is for New York. Now, I use a variety of stuff depending on which bag I'm in, but the most popular color that guys order for New York is the camo brown.
You know, when I went a while back, did one of those boat trips with Rick Slinker and Gilbert Hugsley at the time. They had this guy on there. He was fishing on the same island as we was on the flats, and he wasn't using what he was using. Of course, he was just basically using a boilies, rig, just the rig, a hair rig. But his weight, he was taking those eel rock. Am I saying it right? Eel rocks. Geo rocks. Sorry, there you go. Geo rocks.
Oh yeah, geo rocks.
Yeah, and they're everywhere. And basically, he basically took one of those, about a little small one, and he took a rubber band around it, where for his lead. He was using that as a lead thing, a black rubber band, and try to match it as close as possible with the surroundings.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that.
Yeah.
I've had people ask me, because there's one company in the UK that actually makes rock leads.
Yeah.
And I've talked with the owner of that company. He has no problems if I want to do it over here.
Right.
Like I said, between Europe and here, a lot of things don't matter. There's a couple guys over here that do it just basically for themselves and their friends. But I'll tell you something about doing actual mineral rock leads. It is a time-consuming process.
I could imagine.
You've got to have a certain type of rock that you're able to drill into. When you fix the clip in it, you have to use epoxy.
Okay.
So that means you have to have a bunch ready to go when you're mixing up epoxy to do them, and none of them are going to be the same.
So you're telling me I just can't go to my driveway and pick out some rocks or something like that?
No.
Okay. All right.
I
Nice.
say the best rocks you use for making rock sinkers is river rock.
Right, rocks. Gotcha. Smooth.
River rock are a little more dense.
Yeah.
But on that note too, they're also apt to just crack when you're trying to drill into them. So you've got to have, good masonry bits. You've got to know the speed on the drill.
Yeah, probably have water with it too, as you're drilling.
Yeah, I mean,
Keep it
that
cool.
would be the way to do it, some kind of. And the only problem I found with doing them, and I don't know if it really has any issues or not, but it's not something I really liked, was on the epoxies, the two-part epoxy. Even after it's been dried and cured forever, there's still a hint of that epoxy smell. And I just don't.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Guys.
Epoxy stinks.
Yeah.
Pitches, but it's with as busy as I am now with just standard lids. That would be, if I decide to do something like that would be like a special order, and you're going to wait a while to get them. And another thing too, and I don't know if this question has popped up on the chat or if anybody's asked, but people ask me, okay, why does it take so long to get an order?
Yeah. See, I was getting ready to ask you that question there. Not of course you doing it. So how long? My question was, how long is your process making one, like starting with one lead? Once you poured it, how long does that take?
Okay, so once you got your lead poured,
Yeah.
you have to let it cool for a moment to trim it, because if you trim it when it's hot, it wants to tear.
Okay.
Well, I tell you the whole process to start out, and this will kind of explain it in a nutshell. Is you have to get your bulk lead. I have a cast iron pot that my son-in-law uses on a turkey fire, but it's cast iron. You put your lead in there. You let it come up to temperature, melt temperature, and then I have something that we do to put in the lead to get all the impurities out.
Right.
Number one, wear a mask if you're going to try and do this yourself. You know,
I was worried about that.
I wear a mask a good part of the time. Sometimes it's just too hot to.
Yeah.
But it's usually after my lead's been processed, and I keep a window open and a fan going, all that. But, you know, you start by doing that, melt your lead down to manageable pieces you can melt in your pot. Then, you know, you have to heat your mold up to a certain temperature. You don't want to overheat your mold because it can warp. And then, you know, once your lead's at a certain temperature, you skim it, make sure there's any impurities left come off the top. And you have to learn that by reading the lead, what color it is.
Mm-hmm.
You do that, you pour it, you let it cool, you trim it down. Any flashing that you get, which is the little nubs that stick off of it, you cut those and file those down. You make sure your lead loop is in there good, secured, it went in the right amount of distance. And then you know, take whether you're using pliers. Most of the Euro guys use pliers to dip their lead in their coating. I don't do that because I get tired of cleaning swivels all the time. So I found a way that I do that and it cuts out a lot of time. But anyway, you get your mold up to temperature, get your heavy gloves on, get your clamp on it, you pour it, you open it, like I said, you let it cool, you trim it down, you file it, do all that. Then you reheat it, and this is where it's really a technical part of it. So you have to know, I can look at a lead while I'm heating it up to coat and probably give you what the temperature is within 10 to 15 degrees either way.
Wow. Yeah.
Just by looking at it.
From doing it so much?
Go ahead.
Is that from just doing it like so much over time?
Yeah, and plus, you know, the video chats I've spent, you know, all hours of the morning when it's, you know, 8 a.m. in Great Britain and I should be sleeping. We're on Skype and going over stuff and different types of lead, because lead is not just lead.
Right.
You know, I have a tester that I can check how much antimony is in my lead, how much tin is in there. You know, there's some other metals that get mixed in. You know, so you check all that. Like if you're wanting to make removable split shots, you have to basically use what I call virgin lead.
Right.
And you don't get virgin lead by going to the junkyards. So, you know, I'm going to start doing some split shots. I have a mold for them. I tried doing some last year with the reclaimed lead, and it's just too hard of a lead.
Right.
I have a really super soft lead that's really clean because, believe it or not, the smaller the lead you pour, the harder it is to pour.
Okay.
And the bigger the lead, the easier it is.
Wow.
Everybody thinks it's vice versa, but it has to do with how rapidly lead cools. And lead loses its liquid level in about a half second. So your molds have to be up to almost what the lead melting temperature is, 630 degrees, right near 631. And you have to get your molds to that temperature also. So, you know, I have a lead melter that I can rest my molds on, and it reads the mold temperatures too. Plus, I have an infrared heat gun, and I do it that way. But so after you get, you know.
So this is all electric, right?
Yes.
What's your electric bill like?
Oh, it's not bad.
Okay.
Those pots I use, they pull about 400 or 500 watts. They're not really that bad at all.
Okay.
You know, I got to give a shout out to Ricky Massey.
Yeah, you did get one over there and fixed up your meter, didn't he?
Ricky come over and wired my barn for me, and I'm like, Ricky, how much do I owe you? You know, I live in Connecticut. He said, hey, just make me some leads.
Well, there you
I'm
go.
like, now, come on, Ricky. You know, this is what you do for a living. You just spent a full day on one of your days. Nah, just make me some leads. You know, guys, that's what it's all about. You know,
Yeah.
we help each other out, and I told Ricky, I said, anytime you need lead, you just let me know. And he just put an order in. I'm going to start her as soon as I get back from North Carolina. And, but, after anyway, off topic there for a minute. When I get ready to coat the lead, I get my coating out, get it all set up, get it loosened up. I've got it in bends because I want to get air in with it as I'm coating it.
Yeah.
I put my lead on the holder. I take a hand torch and I start heating that lead back and forth, back and forth. To twist the lead. I want it evenly heated all the way through. And depending on if I'm doing a textured coat versus a smooth coat,
Yeah.
I know what the lead looks like. So when I see it get to that color, I immediately set the torch down. It goes into my powder. I move the lead a certain way, knock off the excess, and if it's a lead clip, I hang it. I've got a rack that my son-in-law's dad made for me that's got little hooks on it.
Yeah.
I hang the lead, and it hangs there until it's completely cool.
Wow.
And then if I'm doing a textured lead, I dip it in. It'll get super shiny. As soon as it gets super shiny, I re-dip it, and then it immediately goes into cold water. And then it sits in the cold water, depending on how big the lead is. If it's a 1 ounce snowball, it sits there for about 30 seconds. I take it out, take it off my bin, trim it, check it, let it dry, and then it's good for sale. So I'd say in a process of doing a lead, it's probably from start to finish for one lead a good 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was thinking a little bit.
But now once I get going, I've got everything set up.
Yeah.
I can zip through them fairly quick. But like I said, people ask me, why does it take so long? Well, I give you a perfect example. When you place an order, 108 ounce,
Yeah.
106 ounce, 203 ounce, 154
That
ounce.
adds up for a long time.
Yeah, it does.
Time.
Take the weight of it itself. My pot holds a pretty good amount of lead, and I'm getting ready to purchase even a bigger foundry.
Wow.
So, Ricky, if you're listening, guess what, buddy? We may have to do a little more wiring.
Camera
But no,
didn't die.
and everybody says, well, why don't you just make a bunch of your best sellers?
Yeah.
That's a great idea, and I did that my first year. Well, my sales then weren't really what they are now.
Yeah.
So I made a bunch for this certain type of lead up, and I thought, I made like 500 of them up. And I'm thinking these things are going to go out the door. Well, that was in like early May. And we had a nice spring, so everybody's orders had started slowing. It always slows down during the summer.
Yeah, I know.
And
Right?
I had all these leads sitting there, all these leads sitting. I thought, well, cool. And people order 5 or 10 here and there. So that fall, I got an order in for 200 3-ounce swivel grippers.
Okay.
And I thought that's exactly what I got made. All I've got to do is coat them. So I grabbed the leads and I'm starting to heat them up to coat them and everything, and they just kind of like broke, or it didn't look like they were heating up, and I overheated them. And like any other alloy or metal, as soon as it hits air, it starts corroding. With the exception of stainless steel, which is treated for that. But that's the reason why if you look at your old no-roll sinkers or 8 sinkers after they sit around,
Yeah.
they look almost black or dark gray. That is all corrosion.
Yeah, the water would turn them that color too.
Yeah, the water will do that. There's a few chemicals out there. You can drop them in, leave them set overnight, and they'll get black, but the problem is your lead's going to get very brittle too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say this, once you've overheated a lead, and this is for anybody that might pour their own 8 sinkers or no rolls or whatever, for themselves, hobby, that's fine, I don't care, do it. If you overheat your lead, it's gonna get brittle because you're basically taking whatever density moisture that's in it out of it, and it starts getting air pockets. And I've literally had leads that I've heated. It's good. I'm going to put it in my bag. So, it's a trial. It's a trial by fire type thing. I've went through so much lead, cussing, tears, mad, punching stuff, trying to figure something out. you just
Cussing up the storm,
It's
kicking.
kind of like making chow.
You need a punching bag in that in your little workshop.
Yeah.
Do what?
You say you need a punching bag in a workshop.
I'm telling you because I'm tired of punching 2x4s. But
Hey,
it's just it's like anything, Tommy. It's like you with painting. It's an art form, and you just have to learn by trial and error.
Yep. It takes time.
You do something like, wow, that made it easier, and that's basically the way I do.
Yep. Because I've learned a lot of stuff over the years to, a shield. A lot of people don't understand a shield, like when I'm spraying and stuff like that, you can fly through some stuff with just a shield.
Well, Rob, I tell you, bud, we're coming to the end of our time. I like to have you back on the show again. There's so many questions that we went through, and it's like, boom. I noticed my camera's getting ready to die, and so it's like, I don't have next.
All right.
But-
I'll be happy to, James.
Huh?
I said I'll be happy to. Maybe next time I'll be in Indiana, I can come up and
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe you can come in person. And do it
Yeah.
that way.
yeah.
But we're not going to have a podcast next week. I'll be in Dale Hollow.
Yep.
And the
Yeah.
week before that, Tommy won't be here, but I'm going to see if Dewan will step in. From Patrick Craig, if I'm saying, did I say his name right? Craig?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's from Georgia.
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
He-
Is it North or South Carolina?
He's another Pay Laker we're going to interview on May 11th. So, again, Rob, man, fascinating of all the stuff what you had to go through with the whole leads and
Just everything, man.
the whole stories of the adventures and with Westside Bait and Tackle and how you started and
Well, I tell you, if life is not an adventure, then you haven't lived life.
exactly,
Yep.
exactly. And I like that whole story with your family. Again, that's great. You gotta go.
They're my rock
Yeah.
and figures, and a few people know. I was a firefighter for 33 years.
Yes.
I went to New York on 9/11, and I helped dig through the
Yes,
fire
I heard.
with my brothers.
We talked about that
I was
before.
diagnosed with PTSD,
Yeah.
and I've suffered with it since then. And there's times I'm not the nicest person in the world, and I know a lot of people find that hard to believe because I'm so easygoing. But
Yeah.
sometimes you hurt the ones you love the worst, and
Yep.
That's
and
true.
I hate myself when I do that, and I'm really working on bettering myself, that way. But like I said, if it wasn't for them and their support, there's no way I could do this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, you got a good team behind you, Rob, and
Yes, sir.
you built one hell of a brand.
Yep. So.
And obviously the Pay Lakers, Wild Water guys, just everybody that fishes or buys your leads in general, they got your back. So.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Rob. Appreciate you, buddy.
Have a great evening.
You too.
All right, appreciate you, Rob.
Rob Stout, guys.
Yep, Rob Stout.
Always.
Lance.
Oh,
I was about to say Lance, man. He said congrats. He said, oh, by the way, Tommy, congrats on the old ball and chain. I appreciate it. I asked for it, man. I got a good woman, man. I couldn't ask for a better woman.
so always support your local bait shops.
Always.
If it's,
Naptown Bait and Tackle, any bait and tackle, Adams Outdoors,
Yep.
Indy Lakes, whatever. They, Hubbard's, they all got tackle supplies, so
always do good carp care.
always.
Landing mats.
Yep, always.
Knotless nets. Whatever.
Yep.
Wild and Pay Lake.
For all your online needs, Big Carp Tackle. Check them out.
Game
You know
does
what I
great.
mean? Don't forget about the tournament that's coming up on May 7th
Yep.
for Jason.
Yep.
If you got anything that you want to donate or a flavor company that wants to donate or whatever, get a hold of Brian Hauser.
Yep.
He'll make sure it gets to the people, gets to the tournament and everything like that.
And
Don't forget to like and subscribe and
we're
share
out
this
here.
live. And we're out here. Are you in a hurry?
Yeah, when the sheriff died.
Oh,
Let me-
it just
it just
died.
died.
It just
Ah.
died.
It just died.